He formulated 5 facts as proof of the existence of God, and the 6th one was deduced only 500 years later. The Catholic Church considered his works as the only true philosophical doctrine. The angelic Doctor Thomas Aquinas was respected even by his opponents, who said, "Take Thomas away, and the Church will collapse." The great philosopher-to-be, Thomas Aquinas, was born approximately in 1225 in the Kingdom of Naples near the small town of Aquino. When he was a child, Thomas often asked, "What is God?" He devoted all his life to find the answer to this question. By the age of 5, the boy had already been sent to study to the Benedictine monastery. He continued his schooling at the University of Naples, and upon becoming an adult, he made up his mind to enter the Dominican order, famous for its ascetic statute. But his influential and rich parents wanted their son to be a priest at the Benedictine monastery. However, Thomas, who wasn't interested in the career, wanted to serve the church unselfishly. The Dominican order sent him to Paris for studies. But on the way, Thomas's own brothers caught him and took him to the castle of his parents. When incarcerated in the fortress, Thomas went on with his schooling, studied Aristotle's metaphysics, and learned the Holy Writ almost by heart. The brothers tried to lead Thomas to carnal temptation and brought a young courtesan to him. But Thomas sent her away, swinging a firebrand at her that was taken out of the fireplace. Failing to persuade their son, his parents accepted his choice. Once free, Thomas took the monastic vows, and in 1245 he went to the University of Paris. He became a pupil of Albert the Great, one of the classics of the medieval scholasticism. Many people misinterpreted the new student's taciturnity for lack of interest in studies, but after Thomas's brilliant defense of a difficult thesis, Albert exclaimed, "We call this man a dumb ox, but if he moos, the whole world will hear these sounds." 7 years later, Thomas passed the exams easily and defeated 10 doctors of theology in a public debate. Thomas became a lecturer at the University of Paris. In 1259, Pope Urban IV called Thomas Aquinas to Rome. In the middle of the 13th century, the Church was looking for a man who could reinterpret the teaching of the Greek philosopher Aristotle in the spirit of Catholicism. Thomas was chosen. In his philosophical treatises, Summa Theologica and Summa Contra Gentiles, Thomas Aquinas used Aristotle's method of speculative constructions, speculatio in Latin, to systematize the Catholic dogmata. He was able to build the system of the Christian philosophy from divine insights of the Church Fathers. It was called Thomism later after its founder, Thomas. He managed to reconcile faith and mind and deduce 5 proofs of the existence of God. Thomas became an official philosopher of the Catholic Church. He dictated his works to secretaries because Thomas didn't have a clerkly hand. He composed more than 60 treatises in his life and also a lot of wonderful works for the Catholic Mass. In 1262, the philosopher was sent to Paris to fight with freethinkers. Nobody could equal Thomas in theological debates in the power of intellect and education. Louis IX, the French king, invited the theologian to his court. At the king's reception, the slow and apathetic Thomas was engrossed deeply in his own thoughts as usual, and everybody forgot about his presence. But he suddenly jumped to his feet, and striking the table with his fist cried, "We will put the Manichaeans in order." After routing the French freethinkers, Thomas returned to Italy. Towards the end of his life, he started receiving spiritual insights. Once his brethren, who were in the same order, saw him lifted in religious ecstasy during the prayer, and heard a voice proceeding from the crucifix. "Thou hast written well of me, Thomas. What reward wilt thou have?" Thomas replied, "None other than thyself, Lord." Soon after that, Thomas stopped devoting himself to philosophy. He said, "Such secrets have been revealed to me that everything I have written now appears to be of little value." The 49-year-old Thomas set out on foot to Lyons, but he fell seriously ill on the way. The great philosopher died in the Cistercian monastery of Fossa Nova on the 7th of March, 1274. "50 years later, Thomas Aquinas was canonized. In 1879, Thomism was officially declared the only true philosophy of Catholicism, and Thomas was declared the most authoritative Catholic scientist. The philosopher Jacques Maritain called St. Thomas the apostle of the new time, and considered Thomas's teaching suitable for all sciences and times, for all forms of culture, meeting the essence of human nature.